Hello and welcome back to Everyday English Talk, the podcast that helps you practice English for real life. I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben. Thanks for joining us today.
Today we're talking about something many of us face sooner or later: making big life changes.
That's right. Maybe it's changing your job, moving to another city, ending a relationship, or starting something new. Big changes can be exciting, but they can also feel scary or uncertain.
Yes, and sometimes the hardest part isn't making the change, it's knowing when to make it.
Exactly. In this episode, we'll talk about how to recognize the signs that it's time for change, how to think carefully before acting, how to prepare, and how to stay confident afterward.
We'll also share some useful words and idioms to help you talk about change in English.
And don't forget, you can download the free PDF transcript and practice exercises from the link in the description.
So, here's a question to get you thinking. Have you ever felt that you needed a big change in your life?
Think about your answer, and let's get started.
So, Ben, let's start with the first step, recognizing the signs that it might be time for a big change.
Right. Sometimes, it's not one big moment. It's small feelings that build up over time. Boredom, frustration, or even a quiet voice in your head saying, something isn't right.
I know that feeling. It's like when you wake up and feel tired before the day even starts. You're doing the same things again and again, but they don't make you happy anymore.
Exactly. Many people describe it as feeling stuck in a rut, like you're walking in circles but not really going anywhere.
I felt that once with a job I had years ago. I liked my coworkers, but deep down, I knew I wasn't growing. Every day felt the same.
Yes, that's one of the clearest signs. When something that used to feel exciting now feels empty or repetitive.
And sometimes your body gives you clues too. You might feel tired, stressed, or even anxious when you think about your routine.
That's a great point. Your emotions and energy can tell you what your mind is trying to ignore.
I think people often stay in the same situation because it's comfortable. Even if they're unhappy, they know what to expect.
True. Change means stepping out of your comfort zone, and that can be scary, but staying in the same place when you're unhappy can be worse in the long run.
Exactly. Sometimes, you just know inside that you've outgrown a situation, like clothes that no longer fit.
That's a nice image. And recognizing those feelings doesn't mean you have to act immediately. It just means you're being honest with yourself.
Yes, the first step is to listen to that inner voice instead of pushing it away.
And when you start noticing the same thought, I wish I could do something different, that's your sign.
So, recognizing the signs is really about awareness. Pay attention to your emotions, your energy, and your thoughts.
Right. Change often starts with a whisper, not a shout. If you listen early, you can prepare better for what comes next.
Well said. Noticing that whisper is the first clue that it might be time for something new.
So, listeners, what signs tell you that something in your life needs to change?
Stuck in a rut. It means to feel trapped doing the same things with no progress. For example, I felt stuck in a rut doing the same job every day.
Lose motivation. It means to stop feeling energy or interest in something. For example, when work feels meaningless, you easily lose motivation.
Deep down. It means your true inner feelings. For example, deep down, I knew it was time for a change.
Comfort zone. It means a safe situation that doesn't push you to grow. For example, leaving your comfort zone can be scary but rewarding.
Outgrow something. It means to change so that something no longer fits you. For example, she realized she had outgrown her old routine.
These are great expressions to describe when life starts to feel repetitive or when you're ready for a new challenge. Today's distinction is feeling uncomfortable versus truly needing change.
Feeling uncomfortable is normal. It can mean you're learning or growing. But truly needing change is when the situation no longer fits you, no matter how much effort you make.
Exactly. It's important to know the difference so you don't rush into change too early or stay stuck for too long.
So, Ben, once you recognize that something in your life needs to change, the next step is to think before you act.
That's right. Sometimes people feel uncomfortable and want to make a big change immediately, like quitting their job or moving away, but acting too fast can lead to new problems.
Exactly. It's normal to want quick results, especially when you're unhappy, but big changes need clear thinking and a little planning.
I agree. I once worked with someone who quit his job suddenly because he was frustrated. But after a month, he said, "I wish I had thought it through. I didn't realize how much I'd missed the people and the stability."
Yes, that happens a lot. Emotions can be strong, but they don't always give us the full picture. Sometimes we just need to pause and reflect before deciding.
That's a great word. Reflect. It means to take a step back and look at your situation from a distance.
Right. Ask yourself questions like, why do I want this change? Or, what will my life look like after I make it? Those questions help you see if you really want the change or if you just want to escape a temporary problem.
Exactly. Sometimes we confuse stress with unhappiness. For example, maybe you don't need a new job, you just need a break or a new challenge where you are.
That's so true. I almost moved to another city once because I felt bored. But after thinking it through, I realized I just needed to try something new. A class, a hobby, or even a small trip.
That's a perfect example. Big changes aren't always the answer. Sometimes small adjustments can make a big difference.
And if you're not sure what to do, talk to someone you trust. A friend or mentor can give you another point of view.
Yes, getting a second opinion helps you see things more clearly. But in the end, the decision should still come from you.
Right. Thinking before you act isn't about waiting forever. It's about making a thoughtful decision instead of an emotional one.
Exactly. A good change starts with a calm mind and clear purpose.
So before you jump into something new, take time to reflect, plan, and make sure it's the right step for you.
So listeners, how do you usually decide if you should make a big change?
Reflect on something. It means to think carefully about. For example, it's important to reflect on your reasons before deciding.
Weigh the pros and cons. It means to consider good and bad sides. For example, always weigh the pros and cons before making a big move.
Think it through. It means to consider every detail before acting. For example, don't rush. Take time to think it through.
Impulsive. It means acting quickly without planning. For example, he made an impulsive decision to quit his job.
Take a step back. It means to pause and look at the bigger picture. For example, when emotions run high, take a step back and breathe.
These are excellent for talking about decision-making or life choices in English. Today's distinction is emotional decision versus thoughtful decision.
An emotional decision is made quickly, often when you're angry, sad, or stressed. A thoughtful decision takes time. You think, plan, and understand why you're doing it.
Exactly. Emotions are part of life, but for big changes, reason should lead the way.
So Ben, once you've thought things through and decided it's really time for a change, the next step is preparing for it.
Right. I think this is where many people struggle. They know they want to change something, but they don't know where to start.
Exactly. Big life changes can feel overwhelming, so it's important to break them down into smaller, realistic steps.
For example, if you want to change careers, don't just quit your job right away. You could start by researching the new field, taking a course, or talking to people who already work in that area.
That's such good advice. Preparation makes change less scary, because you know what to expect. When I moved to another city years ago, I made a checklist. Things like finding an apartment, saving money, and visiting the area first.
Smart move. Planning ahead gives you confidence. It's like packing before a trip. You're less nervous when you know you're ready.
And setting goals really helps too. Instead of saying, I want a new life, say, I'll apply for 2 new jobs this month, or I'll save a certain amount by the end of the year.
Yes, clear goals turn a dream into a plan, and it's okay to start small. Sometimes, the first step is just learning or building a new habit.
That's true. Preparation is also mental. You have to get ready for the fact that things might not go perfectly.
I like that. Change always comes with surprises. Being flexible is part of being prepared.
And don't forget to ask for advice. Talk to people who've gone through a similar change. Hearing their experiences can save you from making the same mistakes.
Absolutely. It's not weakness to ask for help, it's smart. You can learn from others and get emotional support at the same time.
Another helpful idea is to visualize your goal. Picture what your life will look like after the change. That can give you motivation and keep you focused.
And when fear shows up, because it always does, remind yourself why you started. Preparation doesn't remove fear, but it gives you tools to face it.
Exactly. So, preparing for change means planning ahead, setting clear goals, getting support, and staying flexible.
And most of all, believing in yourself. If you've already decided to change, preparation is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be.
Well said, Ben. Preparation is really the secret to confident change.
So listeners, what's one thing that helps you prepare before making a big change?
Plan ahead. It means to prepare in advance. For example, you'll feel calmer if you plan ahead before the move.
Set a goal. It means to decide what you want to achieve. For example, she set a goal to save money for her new project.
Take small steps. It means to move forward gradually. For example, big change begins when you take small steps.
Realistic. It means practical and possible. For example, be realistic about how long change will take.
Prepare yourself. It means to get ready mentally or emotionally. For example, prepare yourself for surprises along the way.
These phrases are great when talking about planning or personal development in English. Today's distinction is dreaming about change versus planning for change.
Dreaming about change is imagining how nice it could be someday. Planning for change means taking real, practical steps to make it happen.
Exactly. Dreams inspire us, but plans make those dreams come true.
So, Ben, we've recognized the signs, thought carefully, and prepared for change. Now comes the hardest and most exciting part, taking action.
Yes, this is the step that turns your ideas into reality. But it's also the part where many people get scared.
I completely understand that. Making a big change means leaving behind something familiar. Even if the new thing is better, the unknown can feel uncomfortable.
That's true. I remember when I left my old city to start a new job. I was excited, but also terrified. I kept thinking, what if this doesn't work out? Exactly. Sometimes the fear is stronger in our imagination than in real life. Once you take the first step, things often get easier.
I like that. Taking action doesn't mean everything goes perfectly. It means you're moving forward, even if it's a bit messy.
Right. Many people wait until everything feels ready, but that moment rarely comes. If you wait for perfect conditions, you might wait forever.
So true. Sometimes you just have to take the leap. It's like jumping into a pool. The first second is cold, but then you realize you can swim. Yes, and that's normal. The key is to adjust. If something isn't working, make small changes. not to give up, but to improve your path.
Exactly. Adjustment is not failure, it's part of success. You learn, adapt, and grow stronger through the process.
And it's okay to ask for support too. Talking to friends or mentors can help you stay positive and confident.
Definitely. Change can feel lonely, but sharing your journey makes it easier and sometimes even fun.
I think that's the beauty of taking action. It teaches you things that planning never could. You discover new strengths you didn't know you had.
Well said. Change is never perfect, but it's always a chance to grow.
So, the final step is simple. Take the leap, stay flexible, and keep learning as you go.
Yes. Don't wait for everything to be certain. Take action, adjust when needed, and trust yourself along the way.
So, listeners, how do you stay confident after making a big change? Take the leap. It means to do something brave or risky. For example, she finally took the leap and started her own business.
Face your fears. It means to confront things that scare you. For example, he decided to face his fears and speak in public.
Adapt. It means to change your behavior to fit new conditions. For example, successful people adapt quickly to new situations.
Stay positive. It means to keep a hopeful attitude. For example, even when it's hard, try to stay positive.
A new chapter. It means a fresh stage or period in life. For example, moving abroad was the beginning of a new chapter for me.
Great words for describing life changes and new beginnings. Try using them when you talk about your own experiences. Today's distinction is taking a risk versus being reckless.
Taking a risk means you've thought about it and decided it's worth trying. Being reckless means you act without thinking or planning.
Exactly. Smart change involves courage, multiple die, but also preparation and balance.
Right, taking risks can lead to growth, but being reckless can cause regret.
So, the goal is to take brave steps, not blind ones.
So, let's take a moment to recap what we've talked about today.
We began with recognizing the signs that it might be time for change. When life starts feeling repetitive, when you lose motivation, or when you sense deep down that something doesn't fit anymore, those are signals that it may be time to move forward.
Then we discussed thinking before you act. Change can be emotional, but big decisions should be thoughtful. It's important to reflect, weigh the pros and cons, and make sure you understand your reasons before doing something major.
After that, we talked about preparing for change. That means planning ahead, setting clear goals, and taking small, realistic steps. Preparation gives you confidence and helps turn dreams into real action.
Finally, we looked at taking action and adjusting. Once you make the leap, stay flexible. Things won't always go perfectly, and that's okay. What matters is learning, adapting, and keeping a positive mindset.
So, making big life changes takes awareness, courage, and patience.
Exactly. Change is not always easy, but it's often the first step toward growth and a happier life.
Trust yourself, start small, and remember, every change begins with a decision.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. We've learned that making big life changes starts with listening to yourself, thinking carefully, preparing well, and having the courage to act.
Yes. Change can feel scary, but it's also a chance to grow and discover new possibilities.
Don't rush, but don't be afraid either. Take one small step toward the life you really want.
And remember, you can download the free PDF transcript and practice exercises from the link in the description.
Thanks for listening to Everyday English Talk.
Take care, and don't be afraid to start your next chapter.